Okay, so you made it through the first part. This is the second part of creating the playing card holder for Sim at Nogales. We're going to we've made the body so far, we've added some fillets, but it's one piece. We need to put it into two pieces. We need to make it so that we can cut out the top and put in some plexi. We're going to do that. It's a little shorter video this week, so good luck and we'll see ya on the other. We've gotten this far. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over a couple things that I talked about today in class. We're going to open up the files over here. We're going to find the one we're doing playing cards for Sim. That's this one. You're going to share this with me. That way I can see your layers. I can see all the things that you've done, so I can inspect it to make sure that you're doing okay. You're going to do that by right mouse clicking on it, and you're going to go share public link. It's going to give you this. Now, share the latest version with anyone who has public link. That's there you have a public link that you can get. Well, all items can be downloaded, requires a password. I would put a password in here, and we put the password, make it something that you can remember or not. You know what? Let's not put a password on. Let's just do this. And then what you can do is you just copy this and you close, and you can go into your email and send it to me. Or actually, what you can do, I know I said I didn't want any direct messages on Slack, but for this, so that everybody's not in your business working on your card, go ahead and send these direct message on Slack. So that being said, let's close this up and let's continue on. So let's review a little bit. Let's click on our triangle. We've got our bodies. What's this one? That's our body for our playing card holder. We also, if we click on the triangle, we have our bodies here. We have our playing cards. So let's turn off the holder. You can see our playing cards. Okay, so that's our deck of cards. We don't need to work with that right now. So we're just going to turn playing cards to eyeball off. We're going to come over here. We're going to turn the body on. We're going to activate this so that we're working in this. We're going to activate playing cards 1 so that this is the active component we're working on. Now, we need to somehow split this. Easiest way to do that is to come up here, go to construct. We're going to get an offset plane. Now it's going to bring up your origin here. We're going to click and hold, and it's going to bring up a few things, and we want the XY. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on front, and we're going to zoom in. We're going to raise that up, and we're going to put it 0.4. That works for me. And we're going to say okay. What we want to do is we want to make sure that that's somewhat in the middle, somewhere in the middle, and not on this line. So we've got that. Let's click our home view again. We're going to come over here and we're going to modify, and we're going to split body. Now to split body, we want to select the body to split. That's this one. We're going to select the splitting tool, and what we're going to do is we're going to click and hold until we get to plane 1. That's the one we just made. You'll notice it makes a big red circle. And we're going to say okay. Now if we look over here in our browser, we can see that we have body 1 on the bottom and body 2 on the top, and it's hollow inside. So we'll turn that off. Let's look. Yep, it's hollow inside. Awesome. So we need to make this so that it will nest inside each other. Right now it's just a clamshell. It'll just kind of come together and it'll slide either way. We want to make it so that one part fits inside the other. We're going to do that with body 1. Instead of leaving these as body 1, I always like to rename them so that I know which is which. So this is going to be the bottom. So we know that that's the bottom. And this, if we double click, is going to be the top. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to turn the top off. And we're going to do something. We need to make a line. We need to extrude around here. So what we'll do is we're going to do type P to project, and we're going to select, it says to select a plane or planar surface. We're going to select this face. We're going to say select geometry. Going to select this again. It's got one selected over here, and we're going to say okay. Now this is a sketch. Now if we look in our sketches, we can see that this is our sketch too. What we're going to do is we're going to, let's zoom out a little bit. We're going to come into this part right here. We're going to go offset, and we're going to click on this. It wants to make it go positive, goes in. We don't want it to go in. We want it to go out. We want it to go out let's see, probably -0.1. It's 1/10 of an inch. That way you can see it's kind of splitting this. So say okay, and we're going to finish the sketch. What we have now is we have something that we can extrude. So we're going to type E for extrude. We're going to click on the top face. Now you notice it's giving us a blue arrow pointing up because it knows that it selected it and it wants to extrude or add to it. So at this point we're going to turn the top back on so we can kind of see where we want to go, and we're going to bring this up 0.2 inches. That'll work. We're going to turn the top back off, and we're going to notice it says join. That's what we want. We're going to say okay, and now we have something that it can grab onto. But what we need to do is we need to let's go ahead. We're going to turn off the bottom this time. We're going to turn on the top. We're going to come back into sketch 2 that we just made, and this time what we're going to do is we're going to add to this sketch. We're going to go to sketch, and we're going to go edit sketch, and we're going to do the offset. We're going to click on that line that we just made. Select curves. It's not going to let us, is it? Nope. Okay, so we'll click the original one. That's right. It doesn't want to let us select the offset one. So we offset this one 0.2, -0.2, no, -0.1. We're going to offset this -0.11. That way it's 1/10 of an inch, not a whole lot more. And we're going to say okay. We'll finish our sketch, and now what we want to do is we want to E for extrude. We're going to click that original one that we made. We're going to have to zoom in so we can grab that second part, and let's go back to our zoom. And we need to remember we did that 0.2, so we're going to go, let's see, we'll bring it up, and here's the cool thing. If we click on the little down arrow, it tells us what we did last, so we know it was 0.2. this one, but we can't just take it 0.2 because it will hit. So we're going to take this 0.2 and we're going to add 0.21, another tenth, and we're going to cut. We're going to say okay. Now if we look at the bottom, I'm going to turn off this sketch so we can see it. You can see now we've got a hole for that other part to go into. So let's turn them both on. Let's go to the front and we're going to go to inspect. We're going to go to section analysis and we can just click on the front of it. That doesn't matter. That'll get us something so we can kind of see. We're going to go to the home view and let's drag it this way, and you can see if we look at this, let's look at it straight on in the front, you can see that we have some tolerance here. So these will clam together, but they won't be too tight. So that looks pretty good. We're going to say cancel. We're going to hit that. Now, I want to make this top part into a piece of plexiglass or polycarbonate that I can etch into. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the P for project again. I'm going to click on this. It works out really nice since we did that fillet. It rounded off the corners and it's going to let us just select this part. We're going to select the geometry. We're going to click that and say okay. So now we've got that selected. We can go ahead and finish our sketch. We're going to remove this right now. We're going to make it so that there's nothing there. We're going to go E for extrude. And okay, so we had a little technical difficulties there. So at this point, we're working in our playing card holder. We've split it into the two bodies and we've added the capture so that it will clamshell together and stay. We're working on the top here. Now we've turned we've already got sketch 3 here. We're going to take this. We need to displace this part because this is where we're going to have our plexiglass or our polycarbonate. So what we're going to do is we're going to type E for extrude, and this, we know our polycarbonate or our plexiglass is 3 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to type in negative 0.125. That's 1/8 of an inch. That will cut it down, and we'll hit return. And now you can see that that's not there anymore. But we're going to add our plexiglass part in there just so that we can see it. So we're going to go E for extrude. We're going to do it a negative 0.125 again. See if we can just bring that up. But instead of joining, we don't want to hit join because it'll put everything together. We're going to make a new body. We're going to say OK. And that, now we have a new body part, even though it says body 3. We're going to call this plexi. Enter. Now we can do something. Let's do this. Okay, for appearances, yeah. We're going to go to glass because we want to make this smooth. Clear glass. Click on, no, not everything. Okay. Close. All right. So now we have our plexi. We'll just pretend that didn't happen. Okay. So you can change the appearances if you click on, you know what, let's turn off the sketch that may have been interfering. Let's turn off the other two bodies. We're going to type A for appearances. We're going to go into glass and let's make it blue glass, and we're going to just drag it on top of it, and it changes the appearance. Now we can bring those other two back. We can close this. There we go. We'll bring those other two back. And now we've got clear glass that we can kind of see through. We want to do one more thing to this. We want to add some text to it. So to do that, we're going to go into Sketch 3. We're going to right click and we're going to say Modify or Edit Sketch. We're going to type S for our shortcuts. Find our text. We're going to, let's rotate it because I want to put the text on it this way, on the long way. We're going to click. Now make sure when you click, you don't click the center because that will constrain it. We don't want it constrained. We want it so it's floating so we can move it. So anywhere out here where it's not touching something, we're going to type sim, CIM, all in capitals. We're going to make it 0.9 inches. And I'm going to make it Times New Roman. I know that's not real fun, but it'll give us, it's a serif font. We're going to rotate it -90 degrees. We're going to grab it here and we're going to center that eye on this line going down, so somewhat center it. So now that we've got that, we're going to click OK. We don't want to finish the sketch yet because we want to add another line of text. When you're doing the text, you have to do them one line at a time. So we're going to type S, click on the text document, click over here. We're going to make it 0.9. We're going to type 2020. And we're going to change the font to Times New Roman. I'm going to rotate it 90 or -90. And we're going to fit it underneath here. Okay, we're just going to eyeball it. We're going to say OK, finish sketch. Now we have our playing card holder. We're going to leave it here for this week. Next week, we're going to work on defining the tool paths. This should be fairly straightforward and simple. So if you have any questions, please watch the video again, see if that'll answer it. If that doesn't, then go ahead and contact me on Slack. Alrighty, folks. Let's see if we can get this shared to me by Wednesday, and let's see if we can get this to this point, which is pretty much complete, by Sunday. All right. Some of you are working on a Chromebook. You cannot do Fusion 360 on a Chromebook, but you can use Onshape. This is Onshape. It works in Chrome. It works in any browser. It's browser based. You can use it on a Chromebook. You can use it on your phone. You can use it on an iPad. Set up an account. It's free. It's onshape.com. It looks very similar to what we have in Fusion 360 or Inventor. You've got your planes, you've got your sketches. You start off with sketches, you do your extrudes, you can do your lofts, you can do your sweeps, you can do all the same things that you can do in Fusion 360. This is free. This is something that if you're on a Chromebook or if you don't have a computer that's really, really strong, this would be a really good option.